Why can't God annihilate Satan and his fallen angels? You've probably heard that Satan was cast out of heaven because of his rebellion. But one question remains. Why didn't God simply annihilate Satan and his fallen angels? Why does he still allow them to exist and act on earth? In this video, we will explore the deeper reasons behind this divine decision and discover why, even after his fall, Satan continues to be a presence in the universe. The name of Satan and the nature of his fall. The name Satan does not simply refer to an enemy or adversary. It represents an entity in perpetual fall, a being that is constantly degrading. The etymology of the word Satan in Hebrew means the adversary, a being destined to oppose God's will. But what caused this continuous fall? The book of Revelation gives us a powerful insight. Satan was cast into an abyss, symbolizing an eternal fall, a never-ending degradation. This represents the corrosive effect of pride, a sin that, if left unchecked, leads to a dizzying descent. And this pride, if not dealt with in our lives, can destroy our relationships, our finances, and even our divinely placed opportunities. In Proverbs 16:18, it is written, "Pride goes before destruction." This verse reminds us that fall does not necessarily mean physical death, but it can also be the destruction of our dreams and relationships when pride takes over. Thus, the key to avoiding such a fall is humility. Who is Satan? Satan, once known as Lucifer, was a majestic angel created by God for his glory. But Lucifer, in his pride, became dissatisfied with his role. He wanted not only to be worshipped, but to rise above God. This led him to organize a heavenly rebellion. He gathered an army of fallen angels, but the heavenly war was lost. Satan and his angels were cast out of heaven. In Revelation 12:7-8 it says, "And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But they were not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven." This celestial battle is a testimony to the unwavering power of God. Satan and his legions lost not because they were not powerful, but because, before God, their rebellion was doomed to failure. God's plan for Satan. But then, why didn't God annihilate Satan and his angels? The answer lies in God's divine plan. God is all-powerful, but he also respects the principle of free will. Satan and his fallen angels were created by God in his image, and as spirits, they cannot die in a physical sense. God cannot simply erase a creature he created for a divine purpose, even in its rebellion. In Isaiah 14:12-15, we learn that Lucifer, in his pride, sought to exalt his throne above God's. But because of his rebellion, he was cast down to the depths of the earth. Lucifer fell because of his arrogance, a trait that God could not tolerate in his heavenly kingdom. However, God did not immediately eliminate Lucifer, because his plan for all his creatures, even the rebellious ones, is greater and more complex than we can imagine. The lesson of humility, pride as a path to destruction. The story of Satan teaches us a crucial lesson. Pride leads to destruction. Satan, originally perfect, allowed his heart to harden with pride, and this led to his fall. In the book of Ezekiel 28:12-19, Satan is described as being perfect in beauty and wisdom until sin found a place in his heart. His fall was not just physical but spiritual, a radical transformation from a luminous angel to an accuser and tempter, the one who seeks to lead humanity into error. Pride is therefore a destructive force, not only for Satan but for us as well. In James 4:6 it is written, "God opposes the proud but gives grace to the humble." If we want to avoid falling into the same traps as Satan, we must cultivate humility and divine wisdom. The role of Satan in God's divine plan. Why did God allow Satan to continue to exist? There is a deep truth to understand. God uses even the bad choices of his creatures to accomplish his sovereign purpose. Satan, although the adversary of God in humanity, is still under God's control. His actions, though evil, never happen outside of God's divine plan. God allows Satan to play his role in the history of humanity, not for our destruction, but so we can experience true freedom and learn to make choices based on love and faith. Divine justice and the ultimate judgment, Satan and his fallen angels have a temporary role to play in the grand narrative of humanity. But all of this is destined for a final judgment. In 2 Peter 2:4 and Jude 1:6, it is clearly stated that Satan and the fallen angels will be judged at the end of time. God, in his perfect justice, waits for the moment of judgment, when every being will be held accountable for their actions. This final judgment is not vengeance, but an act of divine justice. God allows Satan to act, but he has also reserved a day when he will reign over all, and Satan will be definitively defeated. The message for us today. This message about Satan's fall reminds us that the spiritual struggle we face is not merely a matter of human power against divine power. It is about humility, faith, and personal choices. If Satan, in his rebellion, sought to exalt himself above God, we must do the opposite. Humble ourselves before him. God has a perfect plan for each of us, and even trials, even temptation, are part of his plan to help us grow, learn, and be transformed into his image. In the end, Satan's continued presence on earth is an invitation for us to choose each day to follow God, to resist pride, and to live in the light of his love. For in the light of God, Satan's shadow dissipates. The choice is in our hands.